In this video we're talking about windows for the Twizy, comparing the standard Renault Twizy windows with these from Italy, the Twy Rains. So it's the 10th of December here in the UK, 2018, and come next week I would have had the Twizy for one whole year. So to celebrate and better prepare for this now cold weather, I decided to change the windows. So I'm going to take you through the windows that, again, these are all options, right? So the optional windows from Renault, kind of remind you what they look like and how they fit. And then these new windows I've bought from Italy called the Twy Rains. Now, I bought them for a couple of reasons. We'll go through that, but one of the main reasons is that the current windows kind of cut off around here, so the back person gets quite cold and water goes in there as well. It's also a little bit fiddly to open and close the door when you have the windows on. So just going to go through and kind of compare. And the other thing that is quite annoying in the wind when you're driving along at reasonable speed, obviously there's no kind of structure to the windows up here, so they bang and clatter along here as you're going. When it's quite windy, it can be a bit unnerving. So most of the time I do prefer to drive without any windows on. The aerodynamics are pretty good, so the way that the wind will come around the car works quite well. It's obviously, if it's just torrential rain and it's freezing cold, then it is a little bit helpful to have the windows on. And I've also just put together a little ceramic heater that I'm going to try out today, which I'll show you at the end. But this is all about windows, so I'm going to put the standard Renault windows on just to show and compare. Basically, the way that these fit in is there's kind of a clamp that kind of goes onto the window, and then there's a 10mm bolt that you slide the windows in. I think as standard they come with like a thumb screw as opposed to these bolts, but my car being second hand didn't come with that. So the things I don't like about it is the way that these clamp in, especially on the left hand side. When I guess people get in the wrong way, which I'll go through in a moment, but it's been damaging the paintwork. So the way that these Twy Rain windows fit, hopefully are going to fit a lot better. So let's get these windows on, show you how you install them, and yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, so when you're fitting the original Renault windows, they have these kind of protruding metal pieces, and this basically slides in to these clamps on here. Then do these up with the 10mm spanner. You're good to go. So the one advantage of these windows is it's really easy to take them on and off for winter and summer. So then when you close them, it looks like this. So as you can see, there is a gap in the back. Now lots of people, in my opinion, open the doors wrong when they have the windows on. So they pull on this clamp on this piece of fabric here, then stick their hands in to undo the door. Now that does work, but it puts quite a lot of pressure on these door clamps. So I think the preference is to have the zips adjusted to down here. And from the position you can simply open the door and then pull this open like that. So like I said, that's how the windows work. As you can see here, this is kind of what happens where they will bang along in the wind. There is a little bit of a gap here with any of the windows, so you get a little bit of rain ingress, but it's not too bad. But yeah, that's it. So what we'll do is I'll remove these windows, remove the clamps, and then we'll look at how we install the Twy Rains and how they compare, and then go for a drive and see if they bang and clatter, or how does it seem to work. Okay, regardless of if you have the Renault Windows or not, you will have 3 Allen key bolts that hold kind of part of the inner door on. You need to remove all 3 of those to enable the Twy Rains to fit. Obviously in my case, I also need to remove the clamps from the Renault Windows as well. So I get on to do that, then we can look at installing the Twy Rains. Okay, that's the last clamp off for me. I'm just going to give this a quick clean with some detailing spray, and then we'll come back and offer up the Twy Rain windows. Okay, I just used a bit of 303 aerospace protectant cleaner to kind of clean up the door a little bit. Make sure that the plastic is going to be nicely kind of protected and have a thin layer of coating, so that when we put these Twy Rain windows on, going to minimise any possible damage. You can see there's a small amount of damage from the Renault clamps that were in there. Not sure how well that's coming up on the camera, but right, let's offer up these windows and see how it looks. Okay, so for the Twy Rain windows, there's some Italian instructions and a little bit of English instructions basically saying check out the video, but it's all pretty much straightforward. And also we're covering this now. It comes with a little bag, and it comes with 6 kind of thumb screw bolts, which seem to look pretty handy, and a pair of keys. So we'll talk about it in a moment, but the Twy Rain has lockable parts on the window, so that's going to be helpful. Okay, so it should be pretty obvious which one is the left and right. Obviously it's kind of teardroppy kind of shape goes at the back. So I'm going to offer these up. I've got 3 of the bolts ready, so I'm going to kind of just get 2 of them right now, put them in the bolts, in the bolt hole where the Allen key bolts where we just removed, and hopefully kind of work a little bit on getting this lined up. Okay, so let's see how this kind of fits around. So, kind of a strange fitment. Okay, so you can see it's obviously protruding out right now, so I think I need to get in from the other side and kind of adjust and shape it to fit in to these grooves nicely. Okay, so the windows are fitted. I'm just going to double check a few things, and then I'll kind of take you through them in a bit more depth. But the short version is, kind of fits pretty flush around the edge. It's a nice rubberized fit. To open the door, you just kind of open this little window, pop your hand in, grab one of the little handle here, pull up, and away you go. Okay, so they're all on and fitted. I think the fit round the side is really good. So you can see it fits in really nicely. What I also like about these is the fact it's a rubber seal. So it's going to fit and hold a lot nicer than the others that have the leather surround. And hopefully it'll also minimise some of the scratching and marring that the other windows do. On here you can see a little bit here because I need to buff and clean it out after the winter. So this is like the little pull handle that you use to pull to open it. Here's a little lock mechanism that basically turns a little hook inside, which I'll show you when we go inside. These are where the rollers are for this window, so you can just turn this and slide it in and out. This enables you to get your hand in to open the door down there. So that all looks really good. The only thing I'm a bit surprised about, but it looks like it's supposed to be this way, is where there's a gap along here, the door frame. So I kind of wasn't expecting that. I thought it would fit along here flush, but that does seem to be kind of by design in a way. So if you open up the door, and then we can take a look. Just need to watch that on here actually. You can already see I've caught it once. So you just need to make sure this is really nicely pulled away when opening. So we look on the side at this one. Here you can see this is the little latch. So from the inside you can turn that easily, just to stop the window from bashing around too much. But it's difficult to see here, but this looks like it should fit, I guess, more flush with the door. So if we pull this one down, perhaps we can see. Let's see how easy it is. So if we look down here, I don't know if you guys can see that. It is moulded to kind of go round, but it doesn't. It kind of sits up above, which I'm not quite, it's like the holes are too high up. So you see here, you can see the gap. So I think you could re-drill the holes if you wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. We'll take it for a drive, so put the GoPro in and see how it works. But in general, I think they fit pretty well. Seems to get had some stone come in the other day that missed my head and took a nick out of the door there, but no reason to have the windows in for the winter. But yeah, I think they fit pretty well. Like I say, just be careful when opening and closing them, so that this front bit here doesn't catch. As you can just see there, I want to make sure that doesn't hit there. So yeah, let's get the GoPro, fit that in, then take it for a spin and see what it's like. You can see there's a little mark on these, but just make sure all of these nuts and everything are done up tightly. This one obviously you loosen and tighten when you're opening and closing the little window there. But yeah, I think it looks a lot better, the old ones. I still always think it looks a bit shop mobility cut with the windows on, but not the end of the world. But the main difference is this part here for the passenger, they are now encased as well. Let's get the GoPro, take it for a last spin and finish this video off. To show you my little bodge ceramic heater. So I've got it wired up to a LiPo, and just got this off eBay last year. I haven't got around to doing anything with it, but got a cold fan and a hot fan, and yeah, it pops out a little bit of heat, so helps get the cockpit nice and warm if you're waiting around getting a charge or whatever. So this goes over time, just a little bit of a gimmicky thing. Yeah, let's get back in the Twizy. Okay, right, so we push this in as it comes down. And turn that over. Okay, so I'm not sure how well the camera will hold here, but really all we want to do is get an idea of what the wind noise is like, if it's going to whistle or anything, and yeah, just generally see how it performs. So let's get on the road and see what it sounds like. Okay, so we're on the move, and they don't really rattle very much at all. It's been a while since I drove with windows on, so I forgot obviously there is a bit of rattle, and you can hear the engine hear the motor whine a little bit more, but in general it's pretty good. We're going to get up to some higher speeds in a minute, and that's when we can really tell, that's when it's really flapping around. But yeah, it's actually odd. I forgot how quiet it can be when you have got the windows on. One thing that is interesting is I thought they'd be kind of cool if you could open these windows from the inside to help, you know, with a bit of airflow, but you can't. Not really, because obviously you would have locked them on the outside. So I guess it'd be quite a nice addition to have a handle on the inside so you could open them. So when you're driving on a day like today where it might rain, so you want the windows on, you also might want to get a bit of airflow in there. Or maybe they've done that because when they tested it, it is too noisy. I don't know. So what we'd do actually is we'd do a little bit of high speed, and then I'll pull over, open up the window, and then we can see if there's a reason why they keep them so you can't open them from the inside. But yeah, I don't know how well this comes across on the video, because obviously the Twizy is not the most acoustically ideal car, but yeah, no, these are good. I first found out about these windows actually from Sir Sterling Moss. He has a Twizy and he had these Twy Rain windows fitted. Yeah, so far they seem pretty good. So these front catches definitely do help stop the windows buffeting. So I'm going to put my foot down a little bit more, and let's see how much they vibrate or if they whistle or anything. Okay, so we're doing 60 now. So obviously the Twizy is quite a loud car due to no sound ending. The windows aren't buffeting around 65, and there's no whistling, which is good. So yeah, they do rattle a little bit, but they don't seem to be banging as much as the original Twizy windows did. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to do a overlay video now actually of just how flexible these windows are. So they're obviously made out of perspex, so they will scratch quite easily, but they're incredibly bendy, so you haven't got to worry about breaking them when you're moving them. That was one of the things that I didn't like about the Renault windows, because they are just like a plastic, yeah, it's a thick plasticky colour, a bit like the fake windows used to get on convertible cars, as opposed to something more robust like this perspex. So awesome. So yeah, what I'll do in a moment is just go into a 40 zone now. So there's an area where I can pull over. I'll pop that window open, and then we'll see just how noisy it is at high speed with that little window open, to replicate what it'd be like perhaps in the springtime, where you still want the windows on, but you want to have the ability to have a bit of fresh air. So I'll catch you in a moment once I've pulled over, and we'll check that out. Okay, the window's now open, just heading into the national speed limit again. Okay, so we're up to 50, and I don't think it actually makes any difference. I don't know how this is coming across on camera, but the wind is not actually bringing much wind in. So I think just the fact that the back is now closed makes a big difference. So 55 now, 60. They've done a pretty good job, these Twy Rain windows. I am quite impressed. Okay, back into a 30 now, so I can obviously drive slower, and you can hear me a little bit more. So I think, to conclude, I think these windows are pretty good. I think that it'd be nice if they fit a little bit flusher, and I will do a follow-up video kind of in the spring, the late spring, when I take the windows off, to see if there's been any marking. I don't think it's going to. It just rests a little bit, so I might put some rubber on there in the future. But yeah, so I think in terms of water ingress, you're still going to get a little bit on these front sides, because you can feel the wind coming through there. That's just the nature of the Twizy anyway. But I think you can definitely tell it feels warmer in here, and I think my son's going to be a lot happier when he's riding in the back, because if I put my hand back there, there's no wind whatsoever. So you're going to stay warmer,
and you're going to stay dry, and that's what the little man wants. So excellent. No, I'm happy. I'll put a link to these in the description. I bought them off eBay, and it took about a couple of weeks to come from Italy, but they were well packed, nice bit of bubble wrap, massive box. But yeah, so that's it. The Renault Twy Rain windows, I think they're a lot better than the standard Renault ones. None of these things are cheap. Like I said, it's like £380 or something, including shipping. But obviously the Twizy's not a mass market car, right? So they're going to be able to charge a premium for these. And if you want to stay dry and everything, then it's worth it. I still plan to keep the Twizy for a while, so even if I when I do get a proper electric vehicle, I still love driving this thing. It's great fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more videos on the Twizy, please leave some comments, give it a thumbs up, tell me what kind of videos you're interested in. But yeah, if you're looking for windows, I reckon it's worth checking out these Twy Rain, and you're probably not going to be disappointed. So just a quick one, just before the video finishes. I pulled over to charge, and it's got such a good seal around the back. I was having trouble getting the door open, so to really make sure you push it out quite a way to avoid anything getting caught on it. But once you've got the knack of that, it seems pretty damn good. This video, a thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.